Hey there, I'm Dr. Mike T. Nelson, owner of Extreme Human Performance, a faculty member for the Carrig Institute. I did a PhD in exercise physiology and a master's in mechanical engineering before that. And I work with clients online and in person. You can find me at miketnelson.com. And today I wanted to share with you some things you can do for recovery. And these are 5 reasons why you should actually get up and do a simple walk in the morning. I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, I've heard this before. This is so boring. This is not sexy. And you're correct on that, but it's highly effective. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I believe you should add more walking to your training to help you recover. The first one is, my preference is that you get up and do it fasted. Reason for that is your insulin levels will be low, and that will push your body to use more fat. Right, so I think insulin can be much better thought of as a fuel selector switch. That when insulin goes down, if you look at our spectrum here, we've got fat on this side, we've got carbs on the other end. Your body is always switching between these two different fuel sources. In reality, it's not ever 100% really of either one. It's some mix in between. Insulin is one of the things that changes where this goes. So if you do this fasted, your insulin levels are lower, and that pushes you a little bit more to use more fat as an energy source. And I think this has a lot of benefits, especially for recovery. So you want the body to use fat under low intensity work, and also just for general health, especially if people are higher on their calories and kind of spending more time down on this end. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to get absolutely shredded by doing a walk each morning, but it does help burn more calories. My preference is fasted will be a little bit better. We can debate fasted versus fed cardio at another point. The other reason is light exposure. And I prefer that people get up in the morning and do this, if you can, and no sunglasses, right? Because we want the light that's outside, which is much brighter than even the light inside, even on an overcast day, to help reset the little photoreceptors in the eye so that you're more awake during the day and you can sleep better at night. We won't get into all the specifics of this, but light exposure in the morning, especially on the eyes, helps reset your circadian rhythm. So you're more awake during the day and you can sleep better at night. The other one is for your brain health. Now, most of the studies that have been done on this are actually using aerobic training. So walking, for most of you trained people here, is not going to be super intense, but maybe mildly aerobic for some of you. Or you can add a weight vest or other things like that. But we're purposely trying to keep this a pretty low intensity. But if we look at some of the studies on aerobic training, we can see that it helps increase certain areas in the brain, especially the hippocampus. And what I've known just in experience myself and working with clients, that the more number of steps they get, the better they tend to feel, and the better their brain actually works. This is probably the biggest change I've made to my sort of daily schedule over the last probably 3 years now, that just getting up in the morning, going for a nice walk, I can think much better after that and throughout the course of the day. And while we're talking about this, we're also talking about the eye muscles. So when you walk outside, your eyes have to view things from far away, right? So if this is our little eyeball here, we're having to look at trees and all sorts of stuff in different areas, and at a much greater distance than staring at your computer screen like I am recording this. You've probably heard the thing that if you sit all day, your hip flexors get tight. right? Because if we're sitting like this, hip flexor shortened position. Well, same thing can be thought of if you have your eyeball right in front of a screen all day, right? So the muscles around the eye get shorter because the focal accommodation is very close. So just like standing up, walking outside has those little eye muscles focusing much farther away, so they're getting a little bit better exercise. If you've ever experienced where your eye muscles feel really tired, your body in general feels pretty tired. And just like multiple different movements and different patterns for other muscles in the body, having those different movement patterns applied to the eye is also beneficial. So by walking outside, you're training the eye to look around, and you're looking at objects that are much farther away. Last reason, it doesn't get much more simple than this. Like, you literally get out of bed, throw your shoes on, and walk out your door, right? So you're going to be fasted, right? Didn't stop to really eat anything. If you want to drink some water, that's perfectly fine. Don't need to grab your sunglasses. So we're purposely trying to get a little bit of light exposure into the eye. If it's in the morning, most likely the sun, depending on where you're at, is going to be at. Not a super high angle, so you probably don't have to worry too much about getting sunburnt. Going to get your brain a little bit more movement there via aerobic exercise. And we're going to get the eye muscles some more movement there too. And it's simple. So, these are my 5 reasons what you should get up in the morning, do a short AM walk to help speed your recovery. And people always ask, well, about how far should I go? I usually have people start at around just 20 minutes, right? And if you want to listen to a podcast or something like that, you can do that also. But get up, go for a walk in the morning, and let me know how that helps your recovery. I think you'll find that's a pretty big difference. Mike T. Nelson, thank you very much.